Hi everyone, welcome back to part 3 of the Covered by Squid prophecy concerning Tiphani Montgomery. Now, in part 2, the Holy Spirit revealed to us that Tiphani is operating under the squid spirit, which is a spirit from the marine kingdom. It's demonic, right? So let's just continue with this. So squids in real life, they have 2 arms or 2 tentacles and they have 8 legs, right? That's just how they're made up, right? So in real life, the squids use their 2 tentacles or their arms to draw in their prey. So spiritually, it's the same thing. Squids use their arms to draw in their prey. And what are the 2 arms in the spirit? The first one is seduction and the second one is bullying, right? So in other words, Tiphani uses seduction and bullying to draw people into Covered by God or draw people to, who she is and her ministry. Now, squids also have 8 legs. And we know in real life, squids use their legs to detain, to basically, confine their prey. Now, in the spirit, the legs are used, right? And they inflict physical body pain, financial bondage, and stagnation, right? So in the spirit, the squid spirit, you're going to know what's operating in your life, right? If you're covered by God. If you're experiencing, abnormal body pain, financial blockage, right? Like for some reason you can't get ahead in your finances and you're in stagnation, delay, right? Things are stagnant and delayed in your life. Now, people are going to say, which Tiphani likes to say, right, that she goes through deliverance every month. She's always going through deliverance. So there's no way that, a demonic spirit can be operating in her life. Now, the truth is, we all know that the deliverance minister that she uses is Bev Tucker, I believe that's her name. Now, Bev Tucker, she doesn't know much about the marine kingdom. Based off of what the spirit revealed to me and, doing my own research on her, Bev Tucker does not really know much about the marine kingdom, and she definitely doesn't know anything about the squid spirit. So in order for deliverance to be effective, you have to call out the spirits by name. So if you're not calling out the squid spirit, it's still in operation in her life. So you can cast out all of the subordinates, right? You can cast out pride and lust and manipulation. You can cast all of those out. But the root is still there. The main covering is still there. And that's why this spirit is still in operation in Tiphani's life. Now, before I came out with this prophecy, I was like, okay, is Tiphani just oppressed? Like, does she just not know that this spirit is operating in her life? But, the Holy Spirit revealed to me that no, she understands that she's operating with this spirit and she's not repenting. And that's why I'm out here giving this prophecy now. So if we go back to the dream that I explained in part 1, Tiphani touched the witchcraft on the counter, even though the pastor told her not to touch it. And that's how she turned into the purple squid, right? So let's go back to the fact that Tiphani does not have a covering and she doesn't have a church. She doesn't have a pastor. So in the dream, when she ignored the pastor that told her not to touch the witchcraft, that's rebellion, right? Because since she doesn't have a covering, she doesn't listen to anybody and she's very rebellious. Now, we know in 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23, it says, rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft, right? So that's why in the dream, her rebelling against what the pastor told her led her to touch the witchcraft, because rebellion is like the sin of witchcraft. So another very important detail that the Holy Spirit had me focus on was the fact that the squid was purple in the dream, right? So she touched the witchcraft and then she turned into this purple squid. Now, if we go to the word, we know that purple is always associated with royalty, right? So with kings and queens, they were always wearing purple and things like that, right? So the purple is basically symbolizing that she gives this appearance of royalty and she gives this fake facade, but when in reality, she's a squid, right? So basically, once I, was thinking about this purple squid, the Holy Spirit gave me a vision, right? And reminded me of the Covered by God where Tiphani called out people for going to the Beyonce concert. In that specific video, right, she was actually wearing purple, right? She was actually wearing purple. And then this is where the Holy Spirit started talking to me about her marriage, right? So apparently at that Covered by God, she got engaged, right? She got engaged at that Covered by God. So this is where it got very interesting. So the Holy Spirit basically revealed to me that she didn't get engaged and she's not even married, right? Because Tiphani likes to tell her followers that, God told her not to speak on her marriage and, no one should ask her anything about her marriage, even though, she's made a lot of money and has a book and did a whole fast called the Year of the Bride fast, but you keep hiding your marriage, right? The Holy Spirit told me that it's the squid telling her to hide her marriage. It wasn't actually God who told her that. So again, the squid was purple, right? So this means that the squid in the dream was given an appearance that it was royalty. Just like Tiphani staged that whole engagement to give the appearance that she was married, right? But she's actually not married at all, right? So she wore purple at this proposal, and there's no pictures, no videos, no nothing about this alleged husband, right? So nobody knows who this man is, which is very suspicious, right? It's just like, bro, like, where is he at? Like, you're claiming you're married, but even in the engagement photos and videos, there was no sight of him there, right? So again, some of her followers were asking her at one point, she actually bullied them, right? So I remember this one time, this is when I was following her and God had me, in her ministry as a plant, right? She actually posted on her story exposing this girl who left a voice memo saying, hey girl, I think it's weird that you're not sharing your marriage, even though you're doing the Year of the Bride fast and whatever. So she basically posted that girl on her main story and left her username. So her own followers, people uncovered by God, went to go attack this girl for asking Tiphani about this supposed marriage. So again, one of the arms of the squid spirit is bullying, and Tiphani bullies her own followers, right? Which is very, like, you don't have the fruits of the spirit, guys. Test the fruits of the spirit, right? Everyone just says test the spirit. We're testing the fruits of the spirit. Bullying is not a fruit of the spirit, right? Now, Tiphani also doesn't wear a ring, right? She's claimed that she lost the ring and it's lost or whatever. But what's stopping your husband and you from buying another ring so you can wear the ring, right? So she's openly telling us, guys, she's over here telling us she doesn't have a covering, which in the Bible means you don't have a husband. Then we don't see this man on the internet, and then she doesn't even wear the ring, right? So it's just like, bro, where is this husband? And that's why the Holy Spirit revealed to me that there is no real husband. And that's why the squid was purple in the dream, because she's giving this appearance that she's married and all these things, but in reality, she's not married. So this is where it's going to get very interesting. So like I said, the Lord gave me a dream in May exposing that Tiphani has been watching my page. And the Spirit told me that she's been watching my page because she sees me as a threat. In other words, she knew that I was going to come out with this prophetic word exposing her. That's what the Spirit told me, right? So God basically told me that because she knows that her time as a false prophet is coming to an end, that's why she's, camouflaging herself with all of these people on podcasts. The Lord basically told me that as a backup, because she knows that her marriage is going to be exposed eventually, her fake marriage, right? The Lord told me that she has a puppet husband on standby for whenever somebody exposes the fact that she's not married. And the Holy Spirit basically gave me a vision of Tiphani and this husband in an argument, right? Now, the husband is black. He's black. And he's basically under, the squid mind control. So whenever Tiphani does bring out or decides to bring out this puppet husband, he's actually under mind control to act like her husband, right? Now, let's just test the fruits of the spirit, guys. If she's openly telling people, oh, don't have a covering, all of this stuff. And in the dream, it showed that she was very rebellious, right? She doesn't submit to the doctrines of God. Having a covering is a biblical doctrine, and she doesn't submit to that. So why do we think she's going to submit to a husband? You know what I mean? So then the Spirit told me that she has Jezebelic tendencies. So guys, at the end of the day, this part is basically talking about how her whole marriage is a fraud. And don't be surprised when she brings out a husband. That husband is not actually her husband. It's a puppet that she has on standby, right? So, yeah, this is the end of part 4, or I think this is part 3. Go to part 4.